Have questions about your pets? Looking for your next forever friend? We've got you covered. This is Pet Connection with Energy 95.3. Now, here's Erik Fox.
And welcome once again, a beautiful Wednesday morning here in the Southern Valley. My name is Erik Fox, live here at Energy 95.3, and the office is here. And of course, on the other side of the screen, always joined by the amazing staff at Kern County Animal Services. Today, joined by Nick and Angela, and of course, another buddy that we'll be mentioning in just a second here. First of all, how are you guys doing this morning?
We're doing great. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Of course, great news. First of all, I don't know if we ever found the correct pronunciation for Niobe last time, but Niobe and Sophie have gone to rescue, so they are on their way to a new forever home. So happy to do that, and that's exactly what we want to try to do today with another edition here of Pet Connection. And of course, we're just going to jump into it because that's what we like doing, and we're going to be introducing you to Dylan. What can you tell us about Dylan?
So Dylan is very active. He's approximately 1 year old. He's around 40 pounds, so he's not going to get much taller. He may get a little chunkier depending on his feeding schedule, but he is very active. He likes to go for walks. He's really good on a leash. He doesn't pull. He has been with other dogs in play groups, and he does great with other dogs. He just loves to go.
Got a lot of energy, and he's very strong as well.
Bring definitely, if you have an active lifestyle, maybe like going for a lot of walks yourself, maybe jogging, something like that, Dylan would be a great little asset to come alongside you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we always like to remind folks that just because they're heavy and big doesn't mean they're not a puppy. So, Dylan's going to come along with all of the warnings that we might give for a puppy, which is they need, like you said, Erik, they need exercise and enrichment and interaction with other people and other dogs to get them acclimated. So don't let his size fool you. We, or at least I, still consider most dogs under the age of 2 years a puppy, in my opinion, because they haven't gotten into that adolescent shedding of excess energy as of yet.
And of course, that big tongue going to give you lots of puppy kisses and all that stuff too. So, Dylan, we have that number right there on the screen: A1134738. The number scrolling at the bottom: 868-7120. KernCountyAnimalServices.org. I think Dylan hears my voice, and Dylan's like, "What is that? What is this craziness and weirdness?" But Dylan's definitely looking for that forever home. And of course, he's also available for foster as well as adoption. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. And, as always, we know that it's tough to, and actually we probably wouldn't recommend making a decision on a pet that we hope that you're going to have for life, and that's going to be part of your family, based on 45 seconds on a screaming video that you saw. If Dylan piques your interest, or any of the animals pique your interest, we're open to the community, open to the public. You can come down and you can take a look at the animals that we have available for adoption, including Dylan, and see if they're a good fit for you.
Well, Dylan's definitely got that puppy energy and going to bring a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment into your life. So once again, A1134738, and that number scrolling at the bottom, 868-7120. You can get more information there. We've been talking about for quite a while, but you guys provide a lot of great services, not just with pet adoptions. You also provide spade and neuter programs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it's always important to talk about the animals and pets we have available for adoption. It's always important to talk about foster, all these programs that are intended to get animals out of the shelter. We talk about the laws and enforcement of those laws and abiding by those laws and what it means to be a pet owner. But probably the single most important factor in solving some of the problems that we have in Kern County, and we do have problems, probably one of the biggest factors in solving that problem is spay and neuter. It's a part of responsible pet ownership. We have tried to really help dispel the myth that your dog needs to have a litter or sire a litter. That is not a thing. If you had any idea of how many accidental litters end up at the animal shelter. You know, you might change your opinion on that. So, you know,
Right.
it's a big part of what we do. The county board of supervisors appropriates $250,000 a year to support a spay-neuter program. We operate that spay-neuter program through voucher distribution that are redeemable at local veterinarians. And that's available to the public now. You can come down to any Kern County Animal Shelter and get a spay-neuter voucher. We have multiple types of vouchers. We have one voucher that is called Save the Pitties. Save the Pitties voucher is strictly a spay-neuter voucher for a pit bull type dog. And,
Gotcha.
There is no cost for that voucher. It is free. All you have to do is show us that you have a bully dog, and we will issue you that voucher to get your dog fixed. And that's because pit bulls are a very common type of animal in the shelter. And then we have the regular spay-neuter voucher, which is low income base. There's a co-payment of $20, and that's for any breed dog. But we have those two programs. They're vouchers. They're available at any county animal shelter location whenever we're open to the public. So we always like to just remind folks that, hey, we still have a spay-neuter program. It's still available. And if we all practice and preach spay-neuter and make it part of responsible pet ownership, then maybe we'll get to where we all want to be.
Well, Melvin is not waiting for his turn. He wants to definitely come and say hello. I love the coloring on the head. It reminds me almost like a little sleep mask, like we just woke him up and brought the mask up over the eyes. What can you tell us about Melvin?
So he's 2 years old. He's approximately 90 pounds. As you can see, he's a pretty good sized dog. He's full of love. He's just a big goofball, and he wants to just run around, have a good time. He loves outdoors.
Definitely has a lot of energy. Like I said, he wasn't waiting for his turn to get on screen. He was like, "That's my turn." All of a sudden, we saw a tail start appearing. We knew Melvin was in the scene. What else can you tell us about Melvin?
So, like we were telling you about Dylan, we always want to make sure folks are prepared. And you can ask as many questions as you want when you come and see the animals. But if you're going to adopt Melvin, you're going to have some forearms and probably some biceps and some lats.
Yes, he's very strong.
Very, very strong. And he's a big boy.
See, one of the pluses, and you can cancel that gym membership because you're not going to need it anymore. You're going to get your workout just with Melvin and all that puppy energy, or not quite puppy energy. He's still got a little puppy energy in there.
He's been here since December.
So he's one of our longer term residents. Like Angie said, I don't know if you heard, Melvin's been with us since December. It is now February, if you're not aware. And so he's been with us for a couple of months now. And we always have a soft place in our heart for some of the dogs that have been with us for quite some time, because it's just not healthy for a dog to be in an animal shelter for that long period of time. So we'd like to get Melvin out of the shelter as soon as possible.
And once again, you do have the Streets of Bakersfield program available. You guys got a lot of programs, a lot of fostering programs. And like we've talked about numerous times, so one of the great things about getting it from a shelter like Kern County Animal Services is that you guys have a lot more information on the animal than a lot of places will. You know, you go to a store, you're not going to get that information. You go to some of these other things, you guys actually have worked with the animal. So you know the temperament, any health things that need to be known, all that stuff. You're not going to get that elsewhere, but you're going to get that from a shelter, which I think is so important and needs to really be said over and over.
We certainly try to do that. There are obviously other options for you to adopt a pet in Kern County and beyond. There are a number of rescue organizations that do really good work. Some of the animals you might see in a rescue organization, they come from our shelter. There's other animal shelters in the area. It's difficult for us to know all that much about the animals because it's sort of a double-edged sword in that we want to get them out of our shelter so quickly so that they're not staying in the shelter for so long that they, can contract illnesses or have emotional and mental issues from being in a kennel and being in a shelter for so long. So we want to get them out so fast, and yet the longer we keep them, the more we learn about them, the more we can tell you about their personality. So it's one of those double-edged swords, but certainly a dog like Melvin we can tell you some things that we have witnessed and have worked with him on for the past 2 months. So there's positive there.
That number right there on the bottom of the screen, 811-354-15. That is Melvin, who is definitely the showstopper.
Melvin is exploring the space. Is what he's doing.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what we do as humans, and dogs are just the same. 811-354-15. Melvin needs that forever home, and I know there's definitely got to be someone who's watching or listening today that can provide that. So let's get Melvin a home. And once again, earlier we met Dylan. Let's get Dylan's information up there just so you have that again. It's 811-34738. We got the phone number scrolling at the bottom, always 868-7120, KernCountyAnimalServices.org. And Nick, if people are interested in fostering, once again, just go to your Facebook page, right?
Yeah, that's the easiest way to find out more about the foster care program. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Kern County Animal Services. You will see a link to this video on there later today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the top of our Facebook page, there's a form that's called, I think, Emergency Pet Foster Form. And every animal in our shelter, we treat as if it's an emergency to get them out, because it is. So
Right.
Fill out that form. That'll go right to our foster team. There'll be some questions that are asked on that form about what type of animal, what size animal would be best suited for your needs. And then we'll contact you when we have an animal that meets those needs. And it could be short term or it could be long term. A lot of our foster animals end up being adoptions, permanent. And
Nice.
some of them just end up being short term for a few weeks or a few days. Like you said, we have fosters that come in to foster a pet for 3 hours. But it's all contributing to improving the health and wellness of the animals in our shelters.
Definitely enriching the dog's life or the cat's life, and I think that needs to be brought up. We usually feature dogs here on the segment, but you guys have cats and a bunch of other available as well. So if you want to add that extra love in your life, I mean, you see all the hearts behind Nick right now, because there's a lot of love in that shelter, and there's a lot of love that could be in your life. So definitely get in contact with them, and it's so worth it. It'll bring so much joy to your life. Nick, Angela, along with Dylan and Melvin, appreciate the time today, and we'll catch you guys next time. All right.
Thank you.
This has been Pet Connection with Energy.